Good evening everyone and welcome to another spooky video. Now you guys seem to enjoy the previous SCPs we talked about and left me a lot of suggestions in the comments about what creatures or objects I could cover next, and well, today I will simply again be taking another one of those suggestions and we are going to be talking about it. Now before we begin, once again I do have to warn you that for the purposes of this video, the SCP Foundation and all the stories about it are purely made for entertainment and are not supposed to be interpreted as something real, which is why you will not be seeing any hard evidence for most of the things I will be talking about. Now, with that out of the way, the topic for today's video will be something truly terrifying. So if you're planning to sleep tonight, well, you might just consider clicking off this video. But if you're still here, get some anti-corrosive spray, make sure you drink a lot of milk so your bones are strong, and let's go. Now the topic of today's video will be the SCP-106. Now SCP-106 is classified as Keter, one of the most dangerous classifications that an SCP could have, exceedingly difficult to contain consistently, with containment procedures often very complicated and extensive. And yes, while being a Keter does not necessarily mean that the SCP is very dangerous, in this case, well, trust me, it is. Now looking at SCP-106 from the outside, you might almost confuse it with a human. It looks like an elderly figure in a fairly advanced state of decomposition. Looking from the distance, you might not even know that it's alive, as it usually moves only very little unless it's on a hunt, and can sometimes remain dormant for days and weeks. If, however, it decides to move, it can be surprisingly agile, being able to scale any surface, including being able to hang upside down indefinitely. And of course, one of its main qualities is that it can pass through most surfaces without any real issues, leaving a solid layer of black goo-like substance behind it, and notably corroding any nearby metals that it comes in contact with. This effect that it leaves on environments and living tissues is in fact so severe that some presume it to be simply a pre-digestive function before this SCP decides to kill you. Which, if it does, well, it's basically game over for you. Now SCP-106 appears to purely hunt and attack based on its own desire, not hunger. In fact, it can seemingly go as long as it wants to without consuming anything. However, should it sense any human vulnerable enough near it, it will enter, well, what we can refer to as attack mode. In this mode, this creature becomes surprisingly agile, being able to scale surfaces at rapid speeds and in fact pass through almost any material, using what many presume to be its pocket dimension it can slip into. Not much is known about this pocket dimension, considering that most technologies inside don't work very well, and even if transmissions do show something, it's usually too distorted to distinguish. However, it is presumed that this SCP has complete control over this dimension, and so far no one who once went in managed to live for more than a few hours after making it out. I have to warn you that the next picture is highly disturbing. Here we see a photo of Agent approximately 60 minutes after being released from SCP-106's dimension. The subject had been in the dimension for approximately 2 hours, though it is not known whether time inside is warped, and only remained alive for about 1 hour after being released. Now, if SCP-106 manages to catch you, it will quickly incapacitate you, attempting to break large bones, sever tendons, or injure vital organs, after which it will quickly pull you into its pocket dimension, where it will most likely kill you, sometimes taking some of your teeth as souvenirs. Now, because of everything we've described so far, SCP-106 is incredibly difficult to contain. In fact, a full-on breach could be so severe that the main backup action for stopping SCP-106 is actually utilizing an expendable human who will be injured beyond the point of being able to escape just to lure the SCP back into its cage. And when I say cage, I actually mean a special sealed container mostly comprised of lead-lined steel. This container is 40 layers of steel, thick, each separated with no less than 36 centimeters of empty space. Now interestingly enough, the support struts between these layers are randomly placed, and that is because SCP-106 can be seemingly confused if it is faced with highly complex or random assemblies of structures, and this can slow its progress while trying to escape. The same can be said about thick liquids or lead, hence the composition of the container. Now, the true origins of SCP-106 aren't exactly known. However, the most prevalent theory, and I suppose a myth, is that it was originally a man named Lawrence. Lawrence was a corporal during the First World War. However, he wasn't just a regular guy. I mean, he looked regular and he sounded kind of regular, but many would swear that a sweet and disgusting stench of rot would follow wherever he would go. It is not exactly known what triggered his full transformation. However, there are descriptions of several very brutal incidents near places where Lawrence could have been found in the events during the trench warfare. Any other information about SCP-106 is incredibly difficult to gather, because despite its ability to speak, it mostly refuses to talk with any of the staff, and no psychologist had been able to get a full evaluation. But for now, you can at least rest easy knowing that right now, it is contained within its cell. However, maybe keep one eye open tonight, because after all, even the new containment procedure had only reduced the escapes of SCP-106 by 43%, meaning that inevitably, sooner or later, it will once again get out of its cell, and who knows whose ceiling or wall will this horrifying monstrosity come through next. With that, I'm gonna end the video, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have something at least to think about while you're falling asleep tonight. If you liked the video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing, and if there's anything I missed, or any other suggestions on what SCPs I should cover, make sure to leave those down in the comments as well. I would very much like to read them. Now with that, I'm gonna wish you all a beautiful rest of today, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.